The Boston Red Sox have missed the playoffs in each of the past 3 seasons, but maybe the tide could be changing as they try to remake that pitching staff this winter, and the newest move came this morning, signing right-handed pitcher Walker Buehler to a 1-year, $21 million deal, coming over from the Dodgers and winning that World Series title. Pitching has been a focus of the Red Sox this offseason. They acquired Garrett Crochet in that big trade with the White Sox, also signing Patrick Sandoval and adding some help in the back end of the bullpen with Aroldis Chapman. And of course, if you're watching HQ and we're talking about the Red Sox, we have to bring in our very own Will Midllebrooks, Mr. Red Sox himself. And Will, I'm curious, this signing for Walker Buehler, how much do you think just that alone will help the team next season?
It's one of those signings, Zach, that there's a high ceiling there. There's also some risk. There's been some red flags with Walker Buehler over the past few seasons. Obviously, he's had the elbow injuries he's dealt with for 3 years in a row. He had Tommy John, obviously, to have that fixed. And then when he came back last year, he threw half a season. He didn't look great. The velocity was down, wasn't very sharp. But guess what? That's very normal post Tommy John rehab, right? These guys, that first half season, even full season, post-rehab, they don't have touch and feel for those off-speed pitches, and it's normally the second season after rehab in which they're much better. So I think that's what they're looking for from him, hoping for the bounce back, revitalizing himself and getting him under the same roof with Andrew Bailey and Craig Breslow in this pitching infrastructure that is the Boston Red Sox pitching lab, which we've seen them transform some guys over the last couple of years, which they go in and they change what they throw. They change their pitches. They're looking at Walker Buehler's four-seamer. They're probably going to cut that. They're going to see a lot of sinkers and cutters and sweepers, which we saw him look really good with those pitches in the postseason. So he's going to continue to get sharper and sharper as he goes on. But like I said, this is low risk. It's a 1-year deal. Yes, it is $21 million, but it's a 1-year deal. If it doesn't work out, it won't kill you. And there's a lot of good arms on the market for next offseason.
Yeah, Red Sox probably hoping that they can have like the reverse of what happened with my Braves last year after we got Chris Sale coming over from Boston, all those injury concerns, and then pitched amazing for us, winning that Cy Young. Maybe Buehler can turn it around there. When you look at Boston's pitching staff as a whole, though, maybe some durability questions, because you look at Garrett Crochet, you look at Buehler, who we mentioned, and the fact we won't even see Patrick Sandoval or Lucas Giolito until the second half of the season. How does Alex Cora manage this pitching staff to get the wins?
Yeah, so start with who's going to be the ace here. It's Garrett Crochet, right? You make that big trade, you go get the big lefty that throws 100 miles an hour and has Cy Young potential. Yes, last year was his first year starting. He did make 32 starts. You hear everyone saying, well, he only threw 3 or 4 innings per start the last month and a half of the season. Well, he was on a pitch count. It was his first year as a starting pitcher. He made 32 starts. They didn't want to blow him out and have him hurt to end the season and then not be able to trade him in the offseason. So that wasn't because he couldn't make those starts and pitch those innings. It's because he was on a limit by the White Sox. Now, as far as Lucas Giolito goes, as far as I know and what he is telling the Boston media, he will be ready for opening day and for those as the season starts for the Boston Red Sox. Obviously, that rehab has to continue to go well now and through spring training for that to start. And then there's guys like Tanner Houck and Brian Bayo and Cutter Crawford, who all hit career highs in innings last year. Now, that can go one of two ways. That can be the new baseline for them to catapult into a higher quality of starting pitcher, or they could be tired. So we're going to see this year what's up with that. But there is plenty of depth. And to your question about Alex Cora, nobody knows their players better than Alex Cora. The dialogue between guys, the trust between them in that clubhouse is great. And they've accumulated depth in starting pitching. There's 10 options as far as starting pitching goes. Now, 4 of those will likely be in AAA to keep their innings up where they can plug in, make spot starts, come up if someone gets hurt. So the depth is there. I would say Corbin Burns is probably off the table at this point, so they're not going to throw $300 million at him. This is probably the starting pitching staff you will see from the Boston Red Sox in 2025.
Yeah, so you mentioned Corbin Burns. Of course, the Red Sox also wanted to get Max Fried, weren't able to land him. They tried to make a run at Juan Soto, so that's like that big money that did not go into anyone's pockets. What's next for this roster? Do they need a big name? Do they need to try to get Alex Bregman? What's missing, and what is that piece that they need?
Yeah, look, just like everybody else in the Boston area, would have loved to have Juan Soto. But if you add Juan Soto and you add that contract, great. You're still not a playoff team. You still have a lot of issues on your team. They blew a lot of saves on the back end of the bullpen. They needed help with starting pitching and depth and guys that are able to go 5, 6, 7 innings in the games to save that bullpen so they're not exhausted in the second half of the season and blow blow games for you. So honestly, I'm looking at the back end of the bullpen. I'm looking at Aroldis Chapman. Nobody's really talking about him because there was a lot of uproar in the Boston area when they signed him because of his past and his history. But on the baseball side of things, it was a really good signing. They need help there. They lost Kenley Jansen. Kenley Jansen, obviously on the back end of his career, so he's not going to be there. But Liam Hendriks coming off Tommy John, he'll get some saves. They're not going to go out and make this big splash signing. That's just not who they are. They had too many holes to fill. There were too many voids. They needed depth, and that's what they're looking for right now. Now, the Alex Bregman, that's still in the play. That could still be in the cards. The issue there is he could have outplayed his hand as far as his market goes. We're looking at he's going to want $200+ million, and he may get it. I know Alex Cora, they had a great thing going in Houston when they were there. I know Breslow and the front office love his ability defensively, which this infield needs to improve defensively big time. But are you going to move Rafael Devers off third base? Are you going to move him to first? You still have Tristan Casas, who's a 30 to 40 home run potential player if he's on the field. Bregman said he's open to play second base, but there's some prospects in Vaughn Grisham and Christian Campbell who might be able to play second base on a daily basis for the Boston Red Sox. So there's still a lot of pieces moving there as far as the position players go.
And then still some time to be able to figure it out before spring training starts. Our resident Boston Red Sox, Will Midllebrooks, thank you so much tapping in with us as we talk about the team as they get ready for this season. And as we get ready for this next Major League Baseball season, the odds makers over at FanDuel say that it sets up like this. The Dodgers, the clear favorite to maybe win that back-to-back World Series title, sitting at +320. Then my Braves and the Yankees at +850. Red Sox, they are 25-1 to win the World Series.